This is a dilemma we usually face when we are in a place and the time for prayer is due, and you look around and all what you see is different faces, different sizes of beards, different shapes of human beings. So we usually look at the person whom we think that is the most righteous among us and put him forward. But this is not the criteria to be judged by. The Prophet ﷺ taught us how to choose. And he says, the person who knows the Quran best should lead the people. And if they're all equal, meaning that they all memorize the same amount of the Quran, then the most knowledgeable among them in the Sunnah. And if they're all equal, then the first one to have migrated. And if they've migrated at the same time, then the first one of them to embrace Islam. And when the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, the one among them who has most knowledge of the Book of Allah, he's referring, as some scholars say, to the knowledge in prayer. How did you reach this conclusion? They said, when the Prophet said this, alayhi salatu wasalam, he was addressing the companions, and all the companions were knowledgeable of the rituals of salat and the fiqh of salat and how to perform it. As for the Quran, they said it cannot mean to have knowledge in the memorization of the Quran when a person is ignorant in how to offer prayer and what to do in case of mistakes. And this is one point or one view of scholars, because yes, it's true, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the companions used to combine between knowledge and action. So they used to not only memorize the Quran, rather also implement it in their daily lives. Unfortunately, today, there are so many people who have beautiful recitation of the Quran, and they're perfect when it comes to reciting the Quran, but when it comes to the knowledge of the Salat, they're totally oblivious, in the sense that if they make a mistake, they don't know whether to repeat the Salat, to rectify the mistake, or to just simply offer 2 prostrations of sahu. They don't differentiate between pillars, mandatory acts, and voluntary acts, and the likes. So this is one point of view of the scholars. Others said, no, the hadith is crystal clear. What counts in leading the prayer is how much and how good you are in perfecting your recitation of the Quran. And it seems that the first opinion is stronger than the latter one, and that if we have 2 people, one who recites the Quran quite well, but ignorant in the rulings of Salat, and someone who recites the Quran lesser than the first one, but knows the rulings of the prayer and what to do and what not to do, the latter is the one who is supposed to lead the prayer. Having said that, we have to also acknowledge sometimes it's not in a public place that we're disputing who is to lead. Sometimes we are in someone's home. In this case, the owner of the house, by default, whether he knows Quran or doesn't, is the one who is obliged and who is more worthy of leading the prayer. And sometimes we are in places of authority. What does that mean? I'm in an office, so the manager of the office is more worthy of leading than me, even if I'm a sheikh. I am in a country, in the house of a ruler, or under the authority of a supervisor or the likes, he's the one who's supposed to lead. Why? I know more Quran. I have more knowledge. Well, the Prophet ﷺ stated this by saying, no man should lead another man in prayer in the place where he has authority, or sit in his place of honor in his house, except with his permission. And this is what is usually done. When we visit people's homes and they insist that it's time for prayer, we say to them, okay, you own the house, akhi, it's your right, and they refuse. They said, no, Sheikh, you must pray. I said, akhi, this is what the Prophet said. And the people, mashallah, they know the fiqh, and they said, well, yes, this is true, but the Prophet said, unless they give you permission and we give you permission.